the first centenary goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all respects in China. This should give the credit to the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, and also on the basis of realizing the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation against the headwind brought by the complex and challenging international landscape, and also led and united the Chinese people, overcame difficulties, and create a great achievement. The Ministry of Finance shoulder our responsibility in this drive. In the great cause of building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, Ministry of Finance earnestly implemented the important guidance given by General Secretary Xi Jinping and shoulder our great responsibility to support national endeavors and also follow the arrangement made by the CPC Central Committee and State Council. We have made some progress in this regard. From 2012 to 2020, a revenue 142.8 trillion yuan with annual growth of 5.7%. And this shows that a strong revenue of the central budget also paid a solid financial support to realize the Chinese dream. First, we scientifically arrange a usage of the budget. General Secretary Xi said that a scientific allocation of the fund is to leverage a key advantage of a socialist system. And based on the arrangement of the CPC Central Committee and State Council in the past 1 decade, we followed the active fiscal policy and also follow and heard the needs of the market entities, and also to a large investment of the government, and also roll out a large scale of the reduction of taxes, and we not a deluge resort to a deluge of the policies, and also use the counter-cyclical adjustments in 2021 in order to further roll out the achievements made in the COVID-19 endeavor as well as the social economic development. We have arranged 25 trillion yuan, and also this year we will save the 700 billion in terms of taxation. And we also follow the requirements of tightening our belt. So we also reduce the unnecessary expenses and also make sure everything can follow a slim manner in order to hatch the difficulties in finance and also make sure our economic operation and conducted in a reasonable manner. As General Secretary Xi required, that the innovation is the key, and innovation-driven development actually is the most important way to seize the opportunity for further development. Ministry of Finance always uphold the innovation-driven development and also invest more in science and technology and also improve the system in this endeavor. From 2012 to 2021, general budget in S&T increased from 445.3 trillion up to 932.1 trillion yuan, and total investment in the past decade reached 7.07 trillion yuan. And we also invest a lot in the key technologies in the key fields, and also to invest more to solve the problem, the bottleneck or the choking point in science and technology. And also we have triggered the groundbreaking technology merge and also give more support to the emerging industries. A set of hallmark technologies also produced. Third, General Secretary said Our goal of development and also the evaluation of development is a balanced development. And the Ministry of Finance earnestly implement the new development philosophy and also strive to a balanced development in rural and urban areas. From 2012 to 2021, the central general transfer from a central budget the general transfer from the central government to the local government increased from 4.54 trillion to 8 trillion, with an annual increase of 7%. And also, they largely support the development of rural affairs and agricultural sector, and also support the development of the Hainan Free Trade Port as well as the Greater Bay Areas. And we have seen that a more coordinated effect has produced and also shored up the weakness link. Of course, we also pay attention to the people's welfare. As General Secretary Xi said, our main goal of development is to seek happiness for the people, and the Ministry of Finance always stick to the philosophy of people-centered development. And we also expand inclusive projects in order to bring benefits to the people and also keep our continuous support to the poverty alleviation endeavor.
2021年安排中央财政衔接推进乡村振兴补助资金1560亿元，精准落实帮扶措施，加大对
For the poverty alleviation, we have invested 689.6 billion yuan, and in 2021, we would like to further carry out the solid achievement in this regard, and also for the rural revitalization by inviting 156 billion yuan. Also make sure that people's basic needs can met.
2012到2021年的10年间。
From 2012 to 2021, in the past one decade, the amount of the general budget, the expenditure to education, increased from 1.2 trillion to 3.8 trillion, and expands to culture, sports, increased from 226 billion to 417 billion.
从8058亿元增长到18659亿元，人民群众生活水平显著改善，获得感、幸福感。
And also the fund allocating to improve the social service increased from 1.26 trillion to 3.44 trillion, and also investment in the healthcare sector also increased from 805.8 billion to the 1,859 billion. And this largely improved the people's sense of gain and fulfillment. And we also invest a lot in the environmental conservation. As General Secretary said, the blue sky, green mountain, and clean water should be the feature of beautiful China. In the past one decade, it has invested
6,305.37亿元，年均增长8.8%，着力解决生态环境突出问题，推动
We have invited to the environmental conservation from the 296.3 billion yuan to 330.5 billion yuan, with an annual increase of 8.8%, and we have seen a much progress made in this regard. In the year 2020, 337 cities, the PM 2.5 contents decreased by 8.3%. Equality Day increased by 5 percentage points. The forest coverage reached 17.5 billion cubic meters. and also making China the fastest one in the growing of the forest space. As General Secretary Xi said, the reform and opening up is the key strategy for China to pursue progress. The Ministry of Finance always take the lead in these regards, and also make sure that we modernize the capability of modern governance of the country. Since the 18th of the National Congress, we have seen that the innovative measures have been taken in reform and opening up, especially in the system of the Ministry of Finance, and we also have seen a speed up of building the interdepartmental financial cooperation in order to fight against COVID-19 and also increase the efficiency of the central budget usage. And we have direct allocation of the fund from the central budget pool to provincial and county level. 2.8 trillion yuan in year 2021 can cover all the necessary expenditure. And also based on the H1 performance, we have seen this direct allocation produce its role and also to provide the financial support to make a good job in the securing the 6 key areas and stability in 6 key parts. Ladies and gentlemen, the CPC right now, the Chinese people embarked a new journey toward the second centenary goal. Ministry of Finance will earnestly uphold the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics and the new eras and strengthen our four consciousness and the four confidence, uphold the 2 safeguards and always shoulder our responsibilities and the fight against the difficulties and also to be brave enough to take the proactive fiscal policies and also make sure our economic development in a stable manner while making progress. And we'll also strengthen our coordination and also strengthen our support from the financial side and also give our support to the rural revitalization and also focus on the weak links such as jobs, healthcare, and education because these all directly link to people's benefits and also to make our endeavor in the industrial transformation and also the innovation-driven development and also diffuse and defend the risks, make sure our fiscal operation in a safe and healthy manner. And we will also focus on the reform and to build a system that matching and also to start a good journey of the 14th five-year plan. Thank you, Mr. Liu. Now the floor is open. Please identify your media affiliates before raising questions. CGTN, my question to Mr. Liu. We have learned that H2 we have seen a goal of speeding up the efficiency of fiscal fund allocation. So what kind of the measures do we have in this regard? Thank you for your question. And this is also the requirements from the State Council and also would like to see the economy operate in a sustainable and healthy manner. And from judging from H1 performance, the revenue increased by 8.6% compared to 2019. See a revenue in the central budget, which also play a key role in guaranteeing the expenditure on the key areas. But we also have seen on the other side the uncertainties and instabilities the global scale. Therefore, going forward, we will also follow the requirements from the CPC Central Committee and strike a balance between COVID-19 prevention and control, as well as economic and social development, make sure our policy is sustainable and healthy, and also consolidate the achievements in the
3项重点，一个保持，就是保持财政政策的连续性、稳定性和可持续。
economic operation. First, we talk about the sustainable, stable fiscal operation. So there is no a sharp U-turn. Make sure our policy is consistent and also focus on the internal demand and expand the room of expenditure and consumption, and also implement the measures on the taxation reduction. Actually, we had the meetings regarding the unnecessary charge of taxations and other fees. At the same time, we will also make sure our policies are forward-looking and with more targeted. Ensure to have a good linkage with the upcoming policies, and also better utilize the counter-cyclical adjustments. We talk about actually the growth rate of the revenue will not reach as high as 21.8%. Therefore, we will make some changes. But all these challenges should be forward-looking and targeted, but still make sure the policies are consistent and stable. We'll better utilize a direct allocation system and make sure we will streamline this distribution system, make sure that we can control the usage and also can use them in a flexible and targeted manner. Third, we also like to use it a sufficient manner and also have the KPI in place and also make sure each and every yuan used in a meaningful manner. And also people should pay the responsibility. And also our work should provide a service to the national strategies and also to improve the upgrade of the industrial and supply chains, as well as rural revitalization and also the pollution fight. And second, we also should guarantee the improvement of the welfare of the people in terms of education and a social safety sector, as well as a healthcare sector. And we also give a big support to the development of a cultural industry. And third, we also put a close eye on diffusing and defending risks, a national a treasury bond and also a local bond, make sure that they operate in a safety manner and there is no a systematic risk in the system. Cover news. The guarantee and improve people's well-being is one of the key items in the 14th five-year plan. Would you please talk about the measures have already taken in this regard and what kind of the plan do you have going forward? This is a very good question because people's aspiration to a better life is the key goal of the party. General Secretary Xi emphasized that we should always improve people's well-being during our strive, and people's concern should always be our concern, and we should always fulfill people's aspiration for a better life. And there's no small thing in people's concerns. Therefore, we should always put people at the center and guide our work. And we could see actually our investment in the pension and basic medical education increased. and make sure that the benefits from the reform and opening up can deliver to a whole society. And we will also do our best in our capability to meet people's basic needs and also increase their sense of fulfillment and gain, and their happiness can be sustained, and also their life can be more guaranteed.
社会保障和就业支出34427亿元，卫生健康支出18659亿元，文化旅游、体育和传媒支出4180亿元。这些钱来怎么用呢？第一是落实
The education is 3,061.6 billion. And the healthcare with 1,859 billion, and the investment in travel 418 billion. And also investment in job is 3,442.7 billion. Regarding our investment in education, I would like to further improve the structure of the expenditure and also channel more to the essential Western region, and also to see the integration of the rural and urban development, and also give more support to the people in fiscal difficulties. And third, we will accelerate our work in the national insurance coverage, and also to improve the system of the remedy guarantee, and also improve the national social security fund management. Fourth, we'll also build a Health China initiative, and also do a good job in COVID-19 prevention and control, and also increase the subsidies in the healthcare sector. And for the emergency epidemic happened, we will also have the emergency plan in place. And also we'll see the coordination integration at the provincial and the county level. Fifth, regarding the cultural sector, and we will have the guarantee systems in place to provide service to the cultural sector, make sure we have more quality works available. We also give focus to the effectiveness of the policies to provide a good life to the people. And also would have the list management style and the expenditure. Make sure our expenditure can benefit people's livelihood, and also matching the fiscal revenue, and also bring the benefits to the people, so the people's life can be much improved.
谢谢主持人。中国日报记者提问：我们了解到，舆论普遍的认为，
China
我国
Daily.
自党的18大以来呢，就是实施了大规模
I have
减税
learned
降费政
that
策，
since
但政策
the
力度比较
18th
大，
National
政策
Congress,
含
we
金
have
量也很足，
rolled out
企
the
业的获得
policies
感也比较
regarding
强。
the tax
目前
and the
财
fee
政部
cuts,
能否
and
介绍一
actually
下这方面的具体
people
工作？
and the
另外
companies
之后还
already
有什么具
felt
体
the
的工作打
benefits
算？
in this regard. Would you please introduce more in this regard, and what's the measures do you have? The fee cuts and the tax cuts, right?
这方面的问题啊，确实是提得很好的，因为在疫情出现以后，我们的减税规模是历史上是最大的，而且
Since the outbreak of the pandemic, we have rolled out the largest scale of tax and fee cuts, benefiting a large number of companies. I invite the Vice Minister to take your question. Thank you for your question. This is a question with a wide public interest. Since the 18th National Congress, we have continued benefits and policies in this regard in order to give a energy and vibrance to the companies and market.
做过一些统计，“13+5”时期累计减税降费超过
In the 13th five-year plan,
7.6万亿元，
the total
其中呢减
number
税
saved
4.7万亿，
is
降费
7.6
2.9万亿，
trillion.
这个数字呢是比较大的。特别是2020年，为应对突发疫情的
So
冲
the
击，
tax cut is 4 trillion,
坚决
the
贯
fee
彻
cut
落实
2.9 trillion.
党中央、国务院决策
Last year,
在财政收支
in order to counter the impact brought by COVID-19, Ministry of Finance,
情况下，连续发布实施了
in face of
17
the huge pressure
28
on
项
tax and fee
减税降费的
cuts,
政策，
we continue to
全
roll
年
out
新增减
the
税降费
28
的规
items
模
in 7 batches of the
2.6
policies, and a scale in this regard surpassed 2.6 trillion yuan.
复工复产，
Effectively support all kinds of market entities to resume their work
发展，助推5个
and
进，
operation and help companies overcome difficulties.
今年以来呢，按照中央经济工作会议的精神和政府工作报告部署的要求，进一步优化和落实减税降费
And
政
follow
策，
the arrangement of the work report of the government as well as the Central Economic Conference will continue the policies in tax and fee cuts in order to restore the confidence and also the capability of the companies.
一是继续实施
So including the
制度性的
following
减税
measures.
政策，
Some the existing policies, some are
降
the
低
new
增值税
ones.
税率，
First, we will continue
增值
the
税、留抵退税、
institutional fee cuts and
个
tax
人所得
cuts.
税、专项
So
附
we
加
will
扣除
lower
等
the
制度
VAT
性的减
and
税政
also
策
the tax refund,
继续实施，
a personal income
让政
additional
策
cut.
叠加的效应。
So this is more the
持续释放。
institutional ones.
二是
So we will
分
continue
类
this
调整
policy
阶段性
in
的
order to
减税降费
enlarge
政策，就是指针对
these accumulated benefits.
出台
And
阶
second,
段性的减
we
税降
take
费，
step measures in different categories.
延
So
长
this is more the
疫情期间出台的
COVID-19 driven
小规
policies.
模纳税人减征增值税等政策的执行期限，保持对
And for the
经济恢复的
small
必要
scale
支持力度。
taxpayers,
三是出台新的
we continue the
结构性减税
policies
政策，
and also give the
强化
support to restore the
小微
economic
企业的税收优
growth.
惠，
And third, we
提高
will also
小
introduce
规模
new
纳税人的
institutional policies, emphasizing
进
on
一
the
步加大
benefits to
小
the
微企业和个体工商户
SMEs
所得税的
and small
优惠力度。
taxpayers.
对于小微企业和个体工商户年应纳税额
And
不到
also
100
to
万元的
increase the
在
income
现
tax
行优惠政策的基础上
of
再
the
减半征收，
small taxpayers.
支持制造业和科技创新，
And we
将
will
制造
halve
业企
the
业
tax
研
payment
发费用加
to
计扣
the
除的比例
enterprises
提高到 100%。
less than 1 million
原来
in
呢是加
revenue.
计扣除
For the
75%，
manufacturing
75%呢提高到
companies, the
100%。
R&D
并且
reduction
允许
reached
企业按半
100%.
年
Before this number is
享受价值扣
75%,
除政
and
策，
this time we increased to
所得税呢是
100%,
1年
and also allow the companies
汇算清缴，
to
那么半年就
enjoy this reduction policy
不要等到这个明年汇算的时候再来享受这个政策，让企业呢提前享受。
in a half-year term. So they do not need to wait for the
先进
full
制造
year.
业企业
So the
按月
enterprises
全
can
额
enjoy this
退还
policy
增值
in a
税增
faster
2.6
manner.
税
For the
这是呢
high-tech
今年新出台
manufacturing
的一些
or the advanced
结构性减
manufacturing
税政策。
companies,
四是持续实施降费措施，继续阶段性降低失业保险、工伤保险费
we
率，
will give them
取消
the VAT credit
港口
back.
建设费，降低航空公司、民航发展基金的
And we
政策标准，
also cancel the
并加大
insurance
各
in
类
terms of
违规涉企收费
the
整治的力度。
fund requirement on
刚
the
才我们
airports
刘
and
部长
the
也给大家介绍，就收过头税费方面，我们也采取了一些措施，
individuals, as Mr. Liu introduced.
确保真正的把减税降费政策落到实处。实施上述政策措施，预计全年 为市场主体减负超过7000亿元。
And with all these
下一步，我们
above-mentioned
将
measures,
认
we
真
will
贯彻落实
lower the
党中
burden
央、国务院决策部
of the
署，
companies
坚决
amount
落
to
实减税降费
700 billion
政策
yuan.
着力优化
Going forward,
落
we'll
实的
further
机制，
implement
提
the
升
DA
政策
policies
的
and
实施效果，
requirements of the CBC Central Committee
清
State
理规范
Councils, make
恶
sure
劣
all these
违
policies
规
can implement to
涉
its
及社会，
letters,
坚决
and
不受
also to bring the
剥夺税费，
benefits of these
防止
policies, and also
弱化
the
减税降费红利，让企业有更多的获得感。同时呢，密切跟踪宏观经济
protect
形
the
势，
wrongdoings,
考虑
and also make sure
注
that
此
the
疏忽发展需要，
companies
进一
can
步
have
研究完
the
善
a
有关一
greater
些
sense of
具体政
gain,
策执行过程当中存在
and
的问
also
题，
think about their
持续
difficulties
激发
they are
市场主
facing,
体活力，促进经济平稳运行和高质量发展。谢谢。
we will give them further support to unleash the potential of the market and make sure that the economy can operate in a high quality and sustainable manner.
我们是
Just now,
采取了一系列
Mr.
有两个方
Xu
面
Hongcai
是
answered your
比较
question.
明显的。
To your
比
question,
如说
actually,
刚
the
才介
tax
绍
and fee
我们对
cards
小微企业个体
already
工商
introduced
企业的
many
减税
policies in regard,
那实际
and
上
we
是
have
针
seen
对
some progress.
疫情发生之后，
For example, for
出现了
the
困难
SMEs and the self-owned
那这些
enterprise,
政策的
the
出台
entrepreneurs, will
带来
have
了
the
什么样的效
benefits
果
to them.
让
And
企
also, in
这个
order
小
to
微
help
企
them
业
overcome
和
the
个体
hard
工商
days brought by
能够持
COVID-19,
续
we also have additional
它不会
policies.
因为
So what's the
交
result
税
of these
交费
policies?
然后给它带来
The
困难
SMEs and the
让它的这个企业或者是个体工商
self-owned
最后没办法持续经营
entrepreneurs
把
actually
市场主
can
体就保住了。市场主
continue
体
their
保住
business.
就意味着
So we don't want that a burden of taxation or fees
它劳
actually
动
make
者
them
的
to
收
go
入能保住，
bankruptcy.
它就能够
So
做
make
事
sure
能够
that
消
we
费能够干
maintain
其
the
他的
market
能够刺激
entities. We
所以说
maintain the market
这样
entities,
的
which
方式
means
实际上
we
直接给钱
maintain
给困
a
难股
job.
效果是更明显。而且这些减税降费的政策，
So
这个有一些
actually
是制度性
these
的安排。
exert
我们这些政策
more benefits to
促
these
使市
companies
场主体这个不断的在
than
产
just
生。
giving
所以这
funds
几
to them
年
directly.
我国的市场主体的增长
Actually,
速
we
度是非常
empower
快
market
这些市
entities.
场主体的这个的
And
产
that
生
is why you could see that the growth rate of market entities is also quite
就
fast.
业、创业等方面的问题，效果是可以说是立竿见影。我们减税降费的政策还有一个，刚才洪才
And
副部长
also
介绍的，
so
通
the
过
a
企业的研发费用的加速扣
problems
除
in mass
因为这个是财政名词，听起来比较绕。它实际上我们讲加计扣除100%，就是说可以按照它投入的数
market,
额
we talk
在
about
我们
that
企业要交税的时候
the
是扣除
100% reduction
200%，它就原
in
来100再加上新的
R&D
100。
for the
这
company.
个其里面的经济上的含义是什么？就是说，企业投入1块钱搞研发，可以扣掉了这个应纳的税款。
So enterprise invest in 1 RMB in
这样子就鼓
R&D
励企业
and
把
they
资
can
金更多的去搞研发、搞基础性的研究，所以说促进企业
save
提高
half
它
of
的
the
创新水
fees
平
on
和
tax
基础水平
payment, so
也
which
促
means
进了
that the
全
enterprise
社会的
can
技术
save half
进
of
步
their investment
我们
and
减税降费的
reinvestment
措
this
施很
amount
多
of
所以每
fund
一个
to
设计
R&D, and
都
that
有
also
我们
help
具体
them
的目的。
to
现在从总体
produce
的
more
社
or
会
make new
评价的情况看，
groundbreaking
大波的效果
innovations
是
in
相
the
当明
end,
显。
bring the
我
benefits
从
to the
做一
society.
个背景上。
And right now, looking at the a feedback, we could tell that all these process actually is make its role.
谢谢主持人。经济日报记者提问：今年中央提出要建立常态化财政资金直达机制，请介绍一下
Economic
目
Daily
前直达资金的使用情况，并且财政部下一步将采取哪些
We
措
would
施
like to
保障
build
直达机
the
制的落
a
实？
normal
谢谢。
direct allocation system. Would you please elaborate more in this regard, and what kind of the measures do you have to further implement this direct allocation system?
好的
Thank
这
you
个
for your
谢谢你的
question.
提问啊。这个关于这
Maybe
个
this
财
question
政资金直达机制，
I
其实
still invite
这个
Mr.
这件
Xu
事情
Hongcai
确实
to answer.
一个
Thank you for your question regarding this direct allocation system. We're making them. This is quite a fresh measure, and also the arrangement made by the Essential Special Committee and State Council. And we have introduced the situation before to you, and maybe I would like to give you some facts regarding the performance H1 this year. Ministry of Finance with the other central departments summarize the lessons and accumulated experience in the practice of direct allocation system. And this year we roll out the whole scale of fund from 1.7 trillion last year to 2.8 trillion this year. Last year, that's more the incremental funds, and this year, it's more the idle fund. And so far, we have seen a smooth operation, and the fund can be allocated in a faster manner to the county level, and also is conducive to a smooth and healthy development of the economy. And first, can realize a fast allocation, and actually we had a plan last October for the funds actually already allocated to the local budget pool last October. That's also follow the requirement of the law of a budget. And after the approval of National People's Congress, we will also speed up the allocation of funds. So we will allocate the part of the fund in an early date, and also will allocate the part of the fund in a faster speed after the approval of MPC. And because last year we had a quite late MPC, so that is why you could see that the allocation of the other part of the fund actually in a later date. It's around late June. So after going through the audit process, we allocated the fund later than this year. So we can get more time for the local government to allocate the directly transferred fund. And second, we also have the list of the beneficiaries, so we can know exactly the supply and demand of funds. So we can also manage the fund allocation in a scientific and targeted manner, and channel more fund to the people's well-being, such as job, the livelihood, market entities, the wages, city operation. And third, we also have a strict monitoring system, and also work with the PBOC and auditing administration, share the information, and also to create the synergy in the supervision. And for the wrong behaviors, such as using the fund for a different name, different purpose, and will hold people accountable. Going forward, Ministry of Finance with relevant departments continue this policy of direct allocation of funds and make sure that we will bring the benefits to the people. And first, we'll make sure that the leftover fund can be quickly allocated to the local budget pool. And also we will base on the actual reimbursement and also the actual expenditure.
安排支出。
the remaining fund actually does a small proportion.
提高
So based on the actual facts, we will allocate
二是
these
呢，持
parts
续
of
加
the
强
funds
资金的
to
监管，
the local
盯
level.
住资金使用的关键领域和最后1公里，确保直达资
Second,
金
we'll continue our supervision
更好
work,
发挥政策实效。
especially
三是
give
呢，
the
谋划
a
好
key focus on
明年
the
直达
key
机制的安
areas
排，
and also make sure the
认真整理
funds
经验，
used
听
in the
取
most
基层
needed areas.
和
And
行业
third,
主
we
管
do
部门
a
的意
good
见，
arrangement
完善常态化直达
and
机
draft
制以外的
work
管理措
of
施，
the a fund allocation
提早
next
谋划
year, and
明
also
年的机
hear
制，
the
继续
voice
发挥
from the
常态化财政
industries
资金
and
直达机制的
different
作用。
sectors,
谢谢。
and also to make the
直达
plan
机
for
制
next year in the
对
early date
这个讲形象的
in
一个
order to
体
play
现
the role
就是
of
我
a
们
direct
国家
allocation
我
fund
们有
system.
基政
So
相
for
应的
this
有机的
mechanism,
但因为很多基层这政府的钱呢，它
so
是
we
来
have a
自
5
于
level
上级
of
财政
government, which
但
means a
我们每一
5
级财
level
政实际
of
上就等于
fiscal pool,
有一个钱包。
budget pool.
那我们以往的
So
分配
for
是要从
each
中央财政
budget
这个最大的
pool
钱包装进第二个钱包，
means
然后装进
the
第
a
三个
wallet.
钱包，再装进第
So
四个
before
钱
is
包，
actually from the
然后最
central
后到了
budget,
第五
then
个
to
钱
the
包
a second
再
budget
把钱给
pool, to the third,
群
to
众
the
或者
fourth,
给市场。
and then to the fifth.
那我们
So
现在
it's passing
就在
down from
依法的
one
前
wallet
提下
to，
我们把
another.
中间经过的几个
So the
钱包这个
fifth
路径给取消了，直
Wallet
接从
is
第一个钱包
the
这个可以直接支
companies
付到
and
这
people.
个
So basically,
最后
this
财政
direct
支出的时
allocation
候，
mechanism
这样
means
就大
that
大
we
地疏
cancel
解
all
了
the
资金的
intermediate
带图时间。
and
特别
basically
在
from
疫
the
情
central
防控的
government
情
directly
况下，
allocate the fund to the
资
end
金
user.
提前了
So that shorten
有
the
一些提
time
前
of
30个月，
allocation,
有些提前
especially
这
during
个
the
1-2个
special
月
time
这么
of
下法，
COVID-19.
所以很多资金就能够
A fund
速度最
actually
快地到位
allocated
做
30
到
months
而且
earlier
能够
or
精准
1 to
地到
2
位。
months earlier.
你看，我们很多社
So
农的补贴，
that can
很
fund
多
can
对
play
群
its
众的
role
直接
in a
补贴，
faster
现
and
在
more
都是
accurate manner.
一卡通直
The
接到
like
用
the
户
a lot of
而
subsidies
且整
to
个
the
财政也建立
agriculture
了
or
监控
subsidy
体
to
系，可以
people.
看到最后钱
Actually,
到达的
people
地
just
方，
use
所
one
以效果
card
确实是比较
can
明显。
receive their
我的
alarms
这么一提。
and also can trace
前排这位。
the fund. Thank you.
谢谢主持人。中国证券报记者提问：生态环境改善是全面建成小康社会的目标之一。请问财政部在支持打好污染防治供
China
应链、
securities.
推进生态文明建设方面做了哪些工作？
I
下一步
know the environmental conservation is one of the key fights.
我想这个问
And
题
would you please elaborate more about what have you done in the
好，
pollution
谢谢这位记
fights
者的提问。
and what kind of the
良好的生
plans
态
do you
环境啊，
have in this
是
regard
最
going
公平
forward?
的公
I
共产
invite
品，
Mr. Zhu
也
Dongming
是
to
最
answer
宝
your
贵的
question.
民生福祉。
A good
绿
environment
水青山就是金山银山，
is
环境就是
a
民生，
public good
青山就
and
是
also
美
the
丽，
benefit to the
蓝天也
people.
是幸福。
Lucid water,
这
lush
现在都已
mountains
经
are
成为我们
invaluable
全世界的共
assets.
识。近年
We
来，
talk about we
财政部
want a
贯彻
beautiful
是
and
今年
happiness
的决策部署，
place, and this
不
is
断
the
加大
a
资金
common
投入，
aspiration.
积极深化改
In
革
the
创新，
recent years,
大力
Ministry
支
of
持
Finance
打好
earnestly
污染防治攻
implement
坚战。
the requirement of CBC
各位
Central
记者可以
Committee and
多
State
关注
Council
近几
by
年来，这
expanding
个北京的
investment
雾
in
霾少了，
the a
空
pollution
气质量
fight.
也改善了。
I believe many of
生态
you
环境
have already
有很大的
noticed
变化。
that Beijing
各地
actually
也呈现
enjoyed more
天
beautiful
更蓝
days.
山更绿，水
The
更
air
清的
condition much
良好
improved.
的生态环境。人民群众
And
在
Beijing
生
is
态
not
环境方
alone.
面
We
的
have
获
seen
得
the a bluer
幸福
sky,
跟安全
cleaner
感
water,
越来越强。
and greener
在这个背后，
ground,
离
the
不开
greener
财政
land
资金的大力支持
in。many different cities, and also help to increase the sense of gain and
共安
happiness
排
of the
了
people,
生态环保资
and
金
also
44212
should give the
元，
credit to
年均增长了
the
8.2%。
funds.
其中中央财政19333亿元，占比达到了43.7%。我这里再给各位记者朋友算几笔这个“13五”期间的细账，就是三大
At the
战略。
annual investment from the central budget is 4,421.2 billion yuan,
39亿元，
an increase of 8.2%, and 1,933 billion from central government,
重点区域
taking
开展
part
工业污染的深
taking
度治
for
理，推动柴油
43%.
货车淘汰，
And we also give special fund to the northern regions, and also to tackle the difficulties in the the traditional manufacturing industry and also roll out the clean energy used vehicles. And also regarding clean water fund, 129.8 billion yuan have been allocated in this regard and to protecting the safety drinking water, as well as the dealing with the order water. And also 28.5 billion yuan allocated to deal with the soil issues. And we also have rolled out 200 projects, the pilot projects, in improving soil condition. On the other hand, we also make a fresh supporting policy system. We have the system covering the whole basin of Yellow River and Yangtze River in order to give the support of the environment conservation endeavor, and this cannot be done overnight, and this is require our long-term effort. Going forward, we'll implement the Xi Style on the environmental protection, and also we'll do our job to realize the goal of carbon peak and carbon neutrality, and also make reform in the environment conservation and also the restoration of the environment in order to make our own contribution to this drive. Thank you.
据报道，个别省份出现了养老金当期收不抵支的穿底现象。
China News Agency
财政部将采取哪些措
been
施保证
reported
养老金按时足额发放？谢谢。
And we have found that the pension
群众都会特别感兴趣，
found
会提了一个很好的问题。
actually is broken, is break even, and how we can guarantee that the pension plan can release to people in a timely manner. Thank you for your question. Pension plan actually is the fund invested by the people related to thousands, hundreds of thousands of households. So this is people's money. So we should manage well and will not let people down. As you mentioned, certain provinces.
通报一下全国的情况。我国的社会保险基金运行的情况总体还是平稳的。到
Revenue do not cover expenditure.
我国养老保险
So let me give you a bigger picture first. As for the end of 2020, the pension plan
能够保障退休人员基本
4.5
养老
trillion
金及按时足额发放。这个4.5 万
can
亿元，
fulfill
这是我们
retired
养老保
people
险基金目前的
need of a pension plan and also can release to them in a timely manner. So this
这个刚才你问了一
4.5
下个别
trillion
地方的
yuan
问题，这也是在现实中确
is
实
the
存在的。
surplus.
因为我们国家发展不
As to
平
your
衡不充
question,
分，确实有个别地方
indeed,
出现了养老金
we do find that
当
these
期
kind of
收
cases
不抵
happen
支的
in
问
certain
题。
places.
但它
Because
是
right
极
now
不
we
符
still
合
have
这种
that
情
the
况。
inadequate
我
imbalanced
们
development, and some
有能
places
力
actually did not have
通过
enough
全
the
国
income to
的
cover the
统筹安排
expenditure, but
保
just the
证
a
这些地
single
方
case.
养老金的发放。
We believe we have a
那
capability
采取了什么
by
办法呢？一是我们扩大了中央调剂
arranging
的
the
规模，
national
从2018年开始，
allocation
我
of
国就
fund
建立了
to
养
fill
老
in
保
this
险
gap.
基金的中央调剂的制度。
From
用于
2018, we
均
have
衡
already
地区
established
间的
the
基金
pension
分
fund
今年
central
中央调
adjustment
剂基金规模
mechanism
达到
in order to
9300
balance
亿元。
the imbalance among
中
different
西部地
regions.
区和
And
劳
this
工
year,
业
the
集体
skill
的
in
省
this
份
regard
收益
reached
超过2150亿元，从一定程度上
930 billion yuan
缓解了困
for
难地区
the
的收支平衡压力。
old revolutionary bay
第
or
二
the
是
manufacturing
稳步有
base.
序的
This
推
number
进全
reached
国统筹。
to
在
15
基本
billion.
养老保险省级统筹全面完成的基础上，我们稳步有序地推进全国统筹，
Second,
完善中央和地方养老保险责任分担机制，
we will
明确
also do
中
a
央
national
明确
wide
各级财政
allocation
养老
system.
保险支付的责任，不断增强制度可持续性。三是合理确定待遇水平，健全基本养老保
And
险
also
投
have
资
a
和待遇的
sustainable
调整
system
机
in
制，
place
综合考虑物价、
so
工资
people
增
have
长
a
等
clear
因
role and
素，合理
responsibility.
确定
And
养老
third,
金待遇调整水平，
by
让亿万
considering
人
the
民
increase
保
of
有
wages
收益。
and the
所以
commodity
看看每一
price,
次
we will also
我们
adjust the level
调
of a
都
pension
这
plan,
个
make
调
sure
高基本养
people
老保险
have
的
not the
待遇
a
的时候，这个都得到了人民群众的拥护。从刚才您问的问题，个别地方
the
出
a
现的问
pension
题，
support
实际上
in their retire
在
life.
我们国家也是个别省，现在主要集中在
So
3个
the
省份，
problem
但是
happened
大
in
致上
certain
基本养老
place
金它都能够保证发放。谢
is
谢。
in these 3 provinces. So far, their pension plan actually can be allocated in timely manner.
谢谢主持人。中国财经报记者提问：在全面建成小康社会过程中，中央财政在帮助家庭经济困难学生入学、促进教育公平方面采取了哪些政策措施？下
Finance
一步还将有
newspaper.
哪些新举措？谢谢。
嘿，现在大家
A question
对
regarding
民生问题
education
啊，这个是特别
and what
的
kind of the
值
a
得
new
关心。
measures do we have going forward? It seems like people quite have a strong interest in the people's livelihood.
这个教育公平是社会公平的重要基础。近年来，财政部高度重视
Talk about
家
the a
庭
fair
经济困难学
education
生的
is
上
the
学
a
的
key
问题。
basis of a
也
social
会同有关部门不
fairness.
断的完善
And the
家
Ministry
庭
of
经济困
Finance
难
also
学
give
生
the a
支
special
付的政策，
focus to the
已
a
经建立
students
起
with
覆盖
the
所
a
有
financial
教育阶段
difficulties.
形式多样、
And
功
we
能
also
完
enlarge
备
the
的
policy
学
in
生
this
资助
regard
政策
and
体
also
系，
establish
努力让每
the
一个
a
孩子都
mechanism
能够
covering the
享
different
有
age
公
of
平而有
schools,
质量的教育。
make sure each
在
and
这个教育
every
阶段，我想向您介绍
children
一下，在学前教育阶段是按照
can enjoy a fair and
地方
justice
先行
education.
中央补助的
At
原
different
则，
stage of
支持
education, the
引导
preschool,
地方建立学前教育资助政策体系。
so
中央
the
财
a
政
local
给予
government will take the lead
在
and the
义务
central
教育
government
阶段
will
实
play a
施
supporting
城
role.
乡义务教育学生两免一补政策。
In the
对
compulsory
城乡义
education
务教育
stage,
学生，我想说明一下，这包括民办教育学校的学生，免除学杂费，免费提供 教
the
科
a
书，
urban and
对
rural
家庭经济
students
困难学
in
生
public
提供生活的补助。
and private
在普
sectors
通高
and
中
also
高中的教育阶段，实施国家
will
助学
reduce
金
or
和
cancel
家
the
庭经济
tuition
困
and
难
also
学
give
生
the
免学
additional
杂费的
subsidies.
政策。在中等职业教育阶段，实施中等职业教育
And also
免
give
学费
students
和国
grant
家助学金的政策。
enter into the
在本专
universities
科、研究生、高等教育的阶段，建立了以国家奖助学
and
金
also
金
same
和
for the
国家
students
助
in
学贷
secondary
款为
vocational
主，
schools.
3助岗位津贴、校内奖助学金、勤工助学、
And we'll also
困难
give
补
the
助
a
学
scholarship
费补偿贷款、代
and
偿
also
等
the a
为辅
student
的支付的
subsidies
政策体
to
系。
the a students from the a financial difficulty
包括一些
families.
政策执行效果还是非常好的。像我们对这个大学生的这个贷款，我们实际上是中央财政在
For the university
担保的
students,
方面，
we also issue the student
但是
loan.
整个还款情况，这个比原来最早设计的时候还好。
And we give
这
support
个
to
近年
the
来，
a
在实现
guarantees
全
of
覆
the
盖的同
loans
时，我们还进一步加大了
and
对
the
家庭困难
a
学生
loan
的资助力
repayment
度。
actually is
2019
surpass our
年经国务院
expectation.
同意，财政部会同教育部印发了关于调
In
整置业院
2019,
校
approved
奖
by
助
the
学
State
金政
Council,
策的同
Ministry
时，
of Finance with
扩大
Ministry
了
of
高职院
Education
校奖
issued
助学金的
a
覆盖面， 提高补助标准，
the
同步提
documents
高
in
普通
enlarging
本科学生国家
the
助学
coverage
金的
of
补助
the
标准，
student
设立
grant.
了中等职业教育国家奖学金，提高职业教育的吸引力。
We
2020
established
年调整完善了
the 8
国家
national
助学贷款有关政策，延长
the
助学
scholarship
贷款
to the
还本
student
宽
and the
限期，
secondary vocational
延长
schools, and
助
also
学贷款
improve
期
the
限，
policies
降
on
低助
granting
学贷
student
款利
loans,
率，
and also
进一
extend
步
the
减
period
轻
of the
贷
payment
款
of
学
principal
生
and
的
interests,
经济的
and
负担。
also lower the interest rates.
各级财政将会努力不让任何一个学生因
Reduce the
家
burden
庭
on
经济
students,
困难而
and
失
the
学，
fi-
这是我们党和
financial
政府对
departments
人
at
民
all
的
levels
庄严承
will do
诺。
our best
我们
to
财
make
政
sure no
之所
students, because
所
of
在
the financial
职责
difficulties,
所在，
quit the
我们
schools.
将
And this is our solemn
采
commitment
取
to the
最有力
party
的
and
措
to
施，
the
切
people,
实
and
保
this is
障
our
好教育
responsibility
公
and
平。
job.
谢谢。
And we will take the most effective measures to guarantee a fair education.
谢谢主持人。新京报记者提问。我这个问题是关于政府过紧日子的。我们知道最近这些年一直在提倡政府要过紧日子。最近2年，中央的本季支出也是罕见安排了
Beijing
增长。
News.
那
A
刘部长
question
也曾经
regarding
明
the
确地指出，
tightening
政
the
府过紧
belt
日子不
of
仅
the
是
government,
应时支
and
持，也
also
是
this
一
year,
个长之计。
in
所
the
以想
recent
请问
years, we
张
have
教授
seen a
要
quite
如何
rarely
落实好党政机关坚持过紧
phenomenal
日子的
that
要求？
the
谢谢。
expenditure to the central government
谢谢您
actually
关
is
注到我以前
in
讲
negative
的话。
negative number. So what kind of measures do we
政府
have
过
in
紧
this
日子
place
目
to
的是
further
让人
tighten
民
the
尽量
belt?
过好日子，所以这是长期的方针政策，不是短期的应对措施。
So
就是说，
to
不是
tighten
因为
belt of
这
the
个钱少了
government
才要过紧日
to
子，钱多了我们也要过好紧日子，要按
give
照
more
习
funds
近平
to
总书记的要求，
the
坚
people's
持
livelihood,
艰苦奋
so
斗、
to let the
勤俭
people
节约的
enjoy a
思想。
better life.
那这几年
So
国
these
家
kind
的
of
钱脉子确
measures
实
doesn't
越来越
change
窄。
if we're in the
刚
times
才
of
说
good days
了
or bad
这个
days.
一般预算的支出达到
In
25
the
万
recent
亿元，
years,
但国家的重大
As
的
you
战略
said,
任务，保障和改善
the
民生的这个投入的需求也是越来越
general
高。
budget
财
expenditure
政运
reached
行始终
2.5
处于紧
25
平衡
trillion
的状
yuan,
态。所以在这
2.5
种
trillion
情
yuan,
况下，
and we could
这个
see
财政
that
过紧日子
the
重要了。
central budget balance
我们一
is
定要
in
把
a
钱
tight
用到刀刃
situation,
上，用在那个国之大
so it's meaningful for
然后
us
作为政府机
to
关，
use the
它
fund
必
in a
须
smarter
艰苦
way
奋斗，必须
in the
过紧日
most
子。
needed place for the
这个今年中央
governmental
财政继续
organs
将过紧日
we
子作为预
should
算编制
tighten
的基本方针，
our belt.
大幅压减非急需、非刚性的支
This
出，
year, the
大力
central
精简
budget
会议、
also followed
开
this
议、培
principle
训、调研、
and
论
reduced
坛、庆典
unnecessary
等公务
and
活动，从严从紧
expenditures
核定3公经费预算。
especially the
所以今年
funds
的中央
for
本级的预算支出也比
the
这个去年是按年是下
symposiums,
降。
the
我们是2年
activities,
中央本级
travel
的
budgets.
财政支出已经负增长。这个在
So
这
we
个
also
在
have
预算
a
重
nice
紧安排的
arrangement
同时，
for the
我们
central
硬
budget,
化了预
and
算的
also
执
have
行
seen
的约束，
a 2-year
严
in
格
a
执
row
行全国人大
a
批准
negative
的预
number
算，
in the
严
increase
禁
of central
无预
budget.
算、超预算拨款，督促地方的部门严格执行各项经
And
费开
strictly
支标准，
followed the
严
arrangement
禁
approved
扩大
by
范
the
围和
National
提高标
People's
准，
Congress,
可开
and
可
also
不开的会
monitored the
坚决
local
不开，
government to
可
follow
办可
the
不
rule
办的
and
培训
principles,
坚决
and
不办，
also
可暂缓实施的项目，及时将资金缴
the
回财政。
meetings, the
可统筹
trainings,
整合
if
的
not
执行，及
necessary,
时调
we
整
will
用途，切实做到不该花
hold
的钱
them.
一分不花，把钱花到刀
And
刃
for
上，
the
用
funds
足
that
效
can
益。
be integrated and will also save the money and also bring them to a more beneficial projects. Thank you.
谢谢主持人。凤凰卫视记者提问：那么最近瑞幸咖啡，财务造假和德勤员工举报等事件备
Phoenix
受社会
TV
关注，那么进一步凸显了加强财会监督的重要性。请问财政部
Locking
在加强财会监督
actually
方
is
面
a key news called the public
谢谢您
interest.
的提问。我
So
想
that's
问
also further emphasized the
副部长
importance of supervision.
这方面的工作是朱忠明副部长来答您的问题。
Thank
好
you for
谢谢
your
这位记者
question.
的提问。 这位记
And
者
maybe
也提了一个
invite
专业性很强的
Mr.
问题。
Zhu to answer your question.
习近平总书记在中央纪委19届4次全会上强调，要完善党和国家监督体系，以党内监督为主，推动包括
General Secretary Xi
财会监督、
emphasized
审计
that
监
we
督
should
在内的
improve
多项
the
监督有机贯通、
monitoring
相
system
互协调，
within the
加强
party,
财会监督，
including
中央重大决策
the
部署的
supervision
重要抓
in
手，
terms of
是严肃财经纪律、
auditing
规范市场经
and
济秩序
accounting.
的重要手段。党的18大以来，财政部积极履行
And
财
this
会
is
监督
very
的职能，
important, meant for
发挥了
us
越来越重要的
to
作用，促进了
regulate the
财政
market.
管理效能的提升。
That is
当然，
why
我们也
we
看到
earnestly
政府
improve,
刚刚这位记者
implement the
提到的，
policies and
有一些
also
部
play
门
our
和
roles
单
in
位
this regard.
能不同程度地存
At the
在
same time,
预
we
算
also
管理松
see
弛、资产
that
管理不严、
some
财务管理
companies
不
or
力等问题。
departments
资本市场财务造假
No.
案件
have
明
a
显
relaxed
侵害了投资
regulation
者的利益，
and
扰乱了
the auditing
市
or
场运行的秩序。
accounting, and also have
我们
seen the
必须加
cases
强
of
财会
the
监督，
accounts
坚
cooked
持强穿透、堵漏洞、
also
用重点、正
leads
风
towards
气，
the
推动
operation
中央
of the
重大决
market.
策部署落实落地，
So we
维
need
护
to
和规范
find out
市场秩
the
序，
a loophole
绝不
and
让
regulate
财
the
经纪律
market
当稻
and
草人。
implement the key decisions made
第
by
四，
the
进一步
CPC
加
Central
强
Committee
制度
State
建设，
Council
推
to
动加
make
快修
sure
订会计法、注册会计师法，增加行政强制措施，大幅提
and
高
our
财务
policies,
造
not
假
just on the
等
book.
违法行为的处罚力度，
So first, we
进
will
一步
have
健
the
全完善
policies
财
in
会监督
place
体制机制，有效发挥
and
财政
also
部
to
门
have
财
the
会
a
监
strict
督的职能作
punishment
用，
on
压实单位的内部
cooking
监督，
accounts.
社会中介机构的审计监督职能，维护好良
And
好的
also
秩
to
序。
emphasize the
财政部门
a
财会监督以
companies
外
to conduct the
也
a
要夯实
inside company
单位的
auditing
内部这个责任，还有社会中介机构的责任，要共同努力。我们还要
in
强
order
化
to
政治
maintain
能
a
力，
good
持
order
续开展诚信
in
教育，
the a
引导
market.
全行
We
业
should
树
not
立
only rely
良好
on
的职业
Ministry of
操守。
Finance, and also should rely
第二
on
呢，
the
就
relevant
是要进一步加
stakeholders
大
to
监
work
督检
together
查的力度，
to build
坚持
the a
零
good
容忍
conduct
打击财务
of the
造假，
industry
加大
and
会
to
计
good
信息质
order
量
of
和
the
会计师
market.
事务所
And
的
second,
职业质量
also
检查力度，
zero
优化
tolerance
注册会
on
计师
cooked
行业的
accounts,
职业环境，
and also
聚
require
焦重点
the
领域，
a
灵活应用监督检
supervision
查、
on
专项
the
治理
a
等多
accounting
种手段，
firms,
来
auditing
保障
firms,
中央重大
and
财税政策
also
和现代财税体制改革措施有效
have the
落实，
different ways
坚决防止财政资
to
金
make sure
逃
that
生
the
漏。
key strategies
三是进一步
and
丰富监
policies
管手段，
implement,
应用互联网
make
加监
sure
管
that
这个平台、大数据等
people
现代
use
信息
the
技
a
术手
central
段，
budget
提
for
升监
different
管的能力
purpose.
和执法的水平，采取有效的措施，坚决遏制这个
And
企
we
业
also
在税务、
rely on
证
the
监、
key
银行等部
technologies
门
such as big
和机
data
构报送不同财务报告的行为，结合社会信用体系建设，定期发布会计信息质量检
make
查
sure that we use these technologies to help identify whether the companies report different information to different authorities.
强化政策。第四呢，是要进一步强化部门协作，
And
以
also
党
the
内
accounting
监督为主
information
导，以其他有关方面的监督有机贯通，相互协调，
also have
对
the
同
a
银行两会
clear
等部门
a
建立综
regulation
合的执法监督机制，共同打击资本市场的财务造假
and
行
to
为。
work with
谢谢
PPOC and the CBIC and the
最后两
CIC
个问题啊，第三排
to
中央
tackle the wrongdoings in the capital market. Last two questions,
谢谢，
please.
是香港南华早报记者。想请问，近日20国集团财长和央行行长就国际税收达成历史性协议，想请问一下，下一步中方将如何积极推进？
At
谢
the
谢。
G20 governor and of financial ministers meeting
关
reached
于
a consensus
数字经济
and how China will take actions
的挑战的一些
to
问
bring
题
this into
啊
action.
OECD 已经这个组织研究了很多年，所以说在这个今年是
OECD actually has studied this topic many
财
years,
长和央行的行长会议
and we have seen a breakthrough made this
应
year.
对就应
And
对
the
经济数字化的
July
税收挑
10th,
战，两支柱的方案
after
框架
the
设计初步达成
equal
了共识，
discussion,
核准了跨
negotiation,
国企业利润再分配和全球有效的最
and
低
they
税两
reached
大
the
支柱的
consensus
核心要素。这确实是国际税制改革上历史上的重要的一步。从总体上看，它有利于提高
And this is actually a key milestone made in international
可持续的国际
taxation. And it's actually helped to rebuild the a fair
目前的目标
and just
在10月份就2支柱的方案
tax collection system.
的前面的共识。
Goal is in October for this two-pillar plan. We would like to reach a full consensus. China always be a firm participant in the negotiation with a clear position. China is a big country in terms of digital economy. We always champion the multilateralism and open cooperation. And you always can find China in the negotiation of these two-pillar consultation and negotiation. And going forward, we'll work with the relevant departments to continue the negotiation work, and in order to reach a balanced, stable consensus plan in this regard to protect China's development interests, or to call for all the stakeholders of G20 should consider the country is different development stage, different needs, and the key concerns of countries in order to reach a full consensus in the early date. China use radio. My question regarding the common prosperity, what kind of measures do you have to narrow the income gap between rural and urban residents? This is a very meaningful question as the last question of this press conference. The common prosperity actually a key nature of a socialist modernization country. And also in the 14th five-year plan, also require us to make a solid stride in this regard. Ministry of Finance must shoulder our responsibility in this regard. And we will also to implement the new development paradigm, new development philosophy, and also to improve people's livelihood while pursuing development, narrow the differences in development among different regions, and also narrow the gap between rural and urban residents. And also we need to enlarge the pie because we know that holds the key.
放到构建新发展格局中考量和谋划，全力服务高质量发展，支持实施扩大内需战略，
And we will also make early consideration on the basis of a new development philosophy, pursuing high quality development, enlarging the domestic needs, and also improving people's willingness of consumption, let consumption provide its supporting role to serve the economic development, and also inject a strong impetus to the market, and also to realize the common development, especially in the northeast region, the west region, and also to give special focus on the modernization of agriculture and the rural regions, and also let the technologies play its role in order to create the new horizon of development. On the other hand, we also need to do a good job to divide the pie so that the benefit can deliver to the people in a fair and just manner. And we will establish the preliminary allocation.
扩大中等收入群体，履行好政府再分配调节智能，加大税收、
and enlarge the
社会保
middle
障、
income group,
转移支付等调
and
节力
also
度
let
和
the
精准
government
性，
play its
合
role
理调
in
节
adjusting
城乡、区域
a
不
transfer
同群
payment
体间的分配关系，缩小收入分配差距，编密制牢社会安全网，支持发挥好慈善组织在扶老、
and also build a safety
借病、
net
助
for
残、
the public, and
扶
also
贫、
let
济困
the
优抚等方面的作用，同时进一步规范收入分配秩序，推动
a
形成
charity to play
公
its
平合
role
理的收入分配格局，让广大
in
人
the
民
different
群众
sectors,
有
and
更
also
多
would
的
like to
获得感、
realize the
幸福感、
equalized
安全感。
allocation system, so the people can have a greater sense of happiness,
今天的发布会就
safety.
到这里，再见。
Thank you very much. And thank you, friends from the media. This is